Happy Monday, December 22nd. Holy shit balls. We are,
What a
for
year.
anybody that's keeping tabs, you have 9 days left in 2025. And then also, I have this wonderful app here called Sleeps to Christmas.
Oh my
There's you
God.
have 3 sleeps. You have 3 sleeps to
That's all we
Christmas.
got.
That's
I
it.
guess it depends if you're running like a 24-hour stream or not.
I don't know what you're talking about. Um, it's interesting. I never really considered like what 24 hours feels like until I was delirious after like 37 hours. So,
Well,
well,
because you're a bad man.
yeah, I'm something. Welcome to everybody in the chat. Dude. This has been a long time coming. We finally made it.
Dude, we booked this months ago,
I
like many
know.
months
I
ago.
know. Um,
And I think it was right around the time where I started my job. And I said, let me just push this out so that way I have something to talk about.
Yeah. You always had something to talk about, though. We've been friends well before you got a job. I'm super excited for you to be here.
Thanks,
Ladies
dude.
and gentlemen, I don't want to say my favorite Fuhrer, but I will.
I mean, who's listening? Not the other one.
Definitely not.
I'm
Still
definitely
not
not.
100% sure he exists. Still could be the same person. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Say hello to my guy, Ryan. Ryan the Fuhrer
Hello.
of Tech Twitter. It's
We're here. We're here. Not been so active on Tech Twitter. That's okay.
You haven't.
It's been a nice respite from it.
Yeah, I mean, it probably is good to get those like breaks here and there. I think sometimes we get just too focused on it and it becomes the main focus. So I think it is super important to kind of take those steps back because, dude, doom scrolling and just like
Hmm.
actively being engaged it's another job, especially. And I mean, rewind at the beginning of this year, you were still looking.
Yep.
So doing both is very challenging. Why don't you tell us where you currently are and what you're doing?
Yeah, I am at a startup called Pragma. Pragma.gg is the domain. Uh, Pragma owns First Look, also firstlook.gg.
Hmm.
So I'm a design engineer there, basically just a front end engineer that does design work as well. And it's been great. It's been really awesome. So what I'm doing at First Look is building out basically a CMS for video game studios to better manage their player base, but especially focusing on playtesting communities. Um, just like you will get a piece of software that's in beta. Well, video games do the same testing, and
Hmm.
it's just a way for them to more easily manage that with tools like Discord, bots, AI analytics, all that jazz.
That's awesome. I feel like that's definitely in your wheelhouse, knowing you, and
Hmm.
all the questions that I always bother you with tend to revolve around those types of things. So I feel like this is very. Oh, speaking of that, I definitely am going to need some help getting like this configured.
Ah, you got it.
I did.
Nice.
It
Nice.
was a birthday present to myself. So
Hell yeah.
one of our
I've been wanting to buy one.
offered one and never sent it.
Oh, I was wondering. Well, if he still has it, maybe I'll scoop it up.
Yeah. Chris, if you're listening,
Hmm.
send it to Ryan. Hold on, Jack's yelling at me. He might need to go to the bathroom, or at least tell
Yeah,
us.
that's
Hold on.
okay. Oh, treat yourself. Wally can. He knows I've been treating myself since getting this job. That's for sure.
Always, damn straight. Hold on.
Always. No, you're good. I'm interacting with chat. I saw Roxy had a snarky comment about last time we were on. We were talking about three different microphones. Yeah, I mean, I'm on a very different one today. So, hi, Razor.
Razor One. I'm catching up with the chat here. Somebody said something about a Mac. Oh yeah, I got to poop, Dad. He actually he wanted me to put his tablet onto the not school side because he likes to sit and play. While I was like, buddy,
That's
no,
really
not
funny.
happening. Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. Okay. I'm not gonna say too much. Okay. So start from the top here, Ryan. You have not spent your entire adult life in tech.
Mm-mm.
What what compelled you to get into tech, and how did you get into tech? And let's go. all the way back. So Ryan in high school.
You want like my origin story, huh?
Oh yeah, we got to go origin story, brother.
Oh God, yeah.
You know that.
Dude, Ryan in high school was a very different person than you all know now.
How so?
Um, Ryan in high school. So for since I was in sixth grade, music, performance, and education was like the number one thing on my mind. And just like you had a previous film career, while I had a previous music career, and nothing else entered my mind. Like there was nothing else in my life I was going to do
Hmm.
besides music. So in high school, that's all I did. I mean, I didn't even listen to like the radio besides classic rock until like my senior year of high school, I think. And I said,
What?
I'm going away to college. I should probably learn some popular music. Yeah.
That's what? What?
For the most part, yeah. Like I was that like and I still do it to this day, but like, I'm jamming out to Mozart violin concertos and stuff.
That is wild to me. Okay, so where did you like what sort of music then resonated with you when you started to sort of experiment?
Dude, I for the longest time, like this is what I mean when I would say I was a different person. For the longest time, I was like, electronic music is not real music. Like it's just, pressing buttons
Well,
on a pad and making sounds. And then I ended up liking dubstep a lot. And that was like part one of tearing down this like fake wall that I put up for myself, right? Like no one did
yeah.
that for me. Um, yeah, I mean, really, it was electronic music to this point where I still listen to it, almost every day. I mean, I bounce
No
between
shit.
genres a lot, but yeah, dude, yeah, to the point where like there's a um an artist named Kindred. I think he's from Texas. Went to school for music composition, like
Mhm.
has a music degree and everything, and makes great electronic music. So it was just another sign. I was like, yeah, it's okay to enjoy this, Ryan.
What parallel universe do I need to like get to in the multiverse that there's an EDM Ryan somewhere?
Oh, dude, like it's yeah, hard like big on my playlists, that's for
Oh
sure.
my god, I see you with like the big pants with like all those
Yeah, the
like
rave.
strings on them and
Hmm. Dude, Timmy Trumpet is one of my favorite artists. Like I watch Tomorrowland when it's live every year.
bro. I was introduced to Timmy Trumpet when I was at my previous job before I started at Torque. And
Hmm.
yeah, that actually goes pretty hard.
He does,
That
dude.
goes
Like,
pretty hard.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone remember. Well, we could pull up the clip, but there was a clip of a son and father, and father's playing trombone. They're in a kitchen, and the son is like slamming the oven door to the beat, and that was a Timmy Trumpet song.
That
Like,
is
and then all
hilarious.
these years later, I found that out. It's Timmy Trumpet, "Freaks" by Timmy Trumpet is the name of that
Freak.
song.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Timmy, I'm gonna look. Okay. Timmy Trumpet Freaks oven. I'm just gonna put oven. We'll see if we
yeah.
can.
I mean, you'll probably find it. It's an old clip, and they remade it actually in the recent
Oh
years too. I
yeah,
think.
I got it. I found it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
called the kitchen version. This is great. Immediately loving this stream so far. Now that we also have some props. Can you guys see this? All right, you ready? This is great.
Dude,
Maybe
this
turn your volume down. By the way.
yeah, we don't know how loud it's gonna be. Look at the kid, look at him. This is what you and Jack would do
I
if you
was gonna
played
yeah,
trombone.
this I was totally thinking that too. That's great.
So that is the intro, or at least it's like one of the main motifs of the song by Timmy Trumpet. But like, yeah, that's just one artist that I like. I don't know, like other genres that I really latched onto. When I got into college, I was like really into acapella, and especially with the sing off on whatever channel that was, like that became huge, and acapella had its moment. Um, and like vaguely into pop, like I mean, God, I could name a bunch of different bands, but like I mean, Maroon Five, one of them that I got into back in the day. But pop punk, obviously, like Wally and I were also in a band that we were like, God, I don't even know what genre I would define us as, but it was like alternative pop punk with a hint of ska sometimes. Like it was a really weird
Wow.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
to each their own. That sounds like an awesome vibe to me. I would totally go
it was
see that.
fun.
What what about music inspires you? Like what's your
Whew.
connection to that? Like what are you emotionally getting out of music? Obviously it resonates with everybody differently, but I want to know for you that what it does because I mean you committed quite a bit of your life to it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I started playing music because our grandfather was a talented musician.
Mm.
And so I was like, oh, let's just try this out. And I remember changing my instrument from one thing to another. Basically, we had like a summer program where you can learn your instrument ahead of the school year a little bit.
Mm,
And I remember playing Mary Had a Little Lamb with my eyes closed on viola. And I was supposed to play French horn for the school year, and I just chose two different instruments just
yeah.
because. And what do you do as a kid? Like when you're good at something, what do you look to do? Look to keep doing it, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, this is easier for me. Like let me just keep doing this.
Mhm.
And then it turned into a thing that I wanted to do for the rest of my life. Where by the time I was in sixth grade, I remember having this thing in my head, like I want to do this. I want to teach, or I want to perform, or both. And for me, it was always like my emotional outlet. I think
Okay.
you can probably attest to this being a guy around my age. Like we were not taught growing up to process our emotions very well, or if at all.
Yeah.
And
What are you talking about? What is
yeah,
that?
right. What is that? And so I realized like when I would get angry or mad, like I would pick up my instrument and just sort of let it out. And I think that's part of the reason why I latched onto
Mm,
these more delicate emotional pieces. I mean, like I could play whatever, but I really enjoyed playing those things because you could really just
sure.
make it your own, you know?
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense. I think finding something and maybe at the time unintentionally having it be that outlet is great. But I think, it seems like you sort of grew into it and understood what it was capable of for you.
Oh,
Um,
100%.
how do you still sort of stay involved with music at this point? Because obviously that's not where you ended up leaning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't right now too much.
Mm,
I don't play. I have my instruments. I could just go pick them up, but I haven't played them in like a year or so. But what I'm currently doing, besides sometimes actively listening to music, like I think that's something that a lot of people don't do. Maybe people with, you know, with record players might sit down and actually listen to a record, but I will just sit down and listen to music, and so that's one way that I keep connected to it because. Um, I've never been one for lyrics, but I've been one for like melodies and harmonies and how these things build up into
mm,
whatever the piece may require. And it could be a song, it could be a piece, whatever. Like I think of like a piece as in like an orchestral piece of music, but a
sure,
song
sure.
might be something pop. I don't think there's a real difference, but um, the other way that I'm staying connected though is I actually just got back into arranging music for my friend's string quartet. Um, this is something I've been doing for years, and they are a string quartet based in New Jersey. They play at weddings and events on the East Coast, and so their most popular arrangement still to this day is one that I wrote years ago, and at that
That's
time I just
cool.
wrote it for myself.
Yeah.
It's Presley's "Can't Help Falling in Love with You." And so that's how I'm like kind of staying connected. I mean, I should just actually just texted me this morning asking if I could do a last minute arrangement for them.
Oh, that's
But I
cool.
think I did like three in the last 2 months. So yeah.
That's awesome. So when you're when you're like kind of putting something together, thinking about music, like what's the emotion you're hoping that people get from it? Are you hoping that it sort of mirrors your feelings or emotions that come out of it, or are you hoping that they sort of interpret it their own way? I'm curious because it's like you talk about like especially like orchestral pieces, and I'm like you
Hmm.
you feel like all the different instruments and how they sort of affect you viscerally, and it's like how do you just decide what to
Hmm.
create?
So I will keep referencing to that Presley arrangement because I think it's the one that
Mhm.
I'm the most proud of. Um, And so I want people to realistically feel however whatever they're gonna feel. I don't
Mhm.
want to like impose what people feel, but you can sort of pull on different strings by how you write something, right? Like
Sure.
my arrangement of Sunday Morning by Maroon 5 is not going to emote the same feelings as maybe a lush harmony arrangement like I did for the Presley song.
Mhm.
So I mean, I just hope that people like listen to it and like it really like tugs on them, right? Like there's one spot in particular that I can think of that like it's just like the harmony that's in it. My friend even commented, she's like, "Oh my god, I love this part in particular because it just makes you feel something,
Mhm.
whatever that is, you're feeling it."
Yeah.
Um, so I think it's like art in other arts, right? Like you're gonna feel whatever you feel associated with it, but you as the artist or the composer or whoever, even the musician playing it, can sort of help bring out those different feelings that you want people to feel.
Yeah. No, I like that. Um, Tell us and this is a link to your amazing free code camp episode. Shout out to Quincy. They were
Yeah,
talking
shout
about
out
it
to
in the
Quincy.
chat here, so everybody make sure you go listen to that. Musical temper tantrums.
Who's
What's that
having
all about?
those?
Apparently you are.
Yeah. Like when I was angry and I would go play my instrument. Yeah.
Just rage play. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a difference in whatever, if you do stuff angry, right? It's going to
Mhm.
make a difference. If you do things sad, it'll make a difference in the outcome.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Um, so let's talk about when you decided to sort of, at least from a professional perspective, lean away from the music. Was it
Yeah.
was it a choice out of necessity, or did you get burned out and just like leave it? Or was this again like kind of a conscious decision, like I don't know if I can do this professionally, I need to look at something else?
It was a little bit of both. So I will start with that. Yes, I was getting burnt down in some places.
Hmm.
But two, I also wasn't making the money I needed to make. And I think
Mm,
that comes from a few different reasons. On the burnout side of things, I was working, I mean, for several years, I was working at least 40 hours a week at a regular job, performing on the side, maintaining a relationship through, and teaching as well. So I was working 7 days a week.
yeah.
Sunday mornings, I think I used to start at like 7 a.m., leave the house to be at this place an hour away. And then I would work my way back across the island.
Jeez.
So that's definitely, yeah, that was definitely burnout inducing. And that was before I knew what burnout was. As for the money, though, I went from college and then I dropped out and I was managing I was assistant manager to a music store as well as teaching there and then teaching privately and then performing
Mhm.
privately and stuff. And then I went to managing a different store, and I was still managing, teaching there, performing privately, teaching privately.
Jeez.
So yeah, that was probably like closer to 5 years actually. I think 4 to 5 years. So it just became a lot, and like I said, I wasn't making the money that I needed to move
Mhm.
forward in life. What is going on with your microphone?
My microphone?
Yeah,
What's it doing?
it was like you were touching the mic arm.
Oh, really? Wow,
Yeah.
that thing's very sensitive.
That is incredibly sensitive.
Holy cow. Earthquake. It's
Yeah, it did sound
wow,
like
you
an
can hear it?
earthquake.
Holy shit.
You need
That's
a shock
crazy.
mount, my dude.
Yeah, I guess maybe I just shouldn't touch it.
I
Um,
guess not.
okay, that's fair. Sorry. Sorry to
Yeah,
distract you,
no,
everybody.
you're good. I just had to say it. I was like, I'm not the only one. I don't have
Yeah.
a mic arm today.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the money I just wasn't making.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was partially due to me. I think I know that I lacked self-confidence when I was younger to really like push for a more performance oriented lifestyle.
Mhm.
And I think I could have started venturing into that, but I felt too old at the time. I was like, I can't start this now. Like I wish I felt the way that I did about my playing 4 years ago, right?
Sure, sure.
Um, yeah. So from there, I left. It came at a good time that I think it was January 2018 or something like that, where I was able to um, sort of pass off my students that I was not retaining. So who was moving away, who was just dropping, and then there was
Mhm.
two students in particular that were very good, very talented, and one of which I was already passing off because he was a cellist, and I did not want to hold him back. Like my main instruments were violin and viola, and I could teach others to a certain point, right?
Yeah.
But so it really came up that I was really just dumping one or two kids, and so I got out of that. I joined Wally at a job, eventually called, oh, what the hell was it called? Order Ease. And they
Okay.
had like a SaaS for restaurants. And so they actually built websites. We were in
Okay.
customer service though. So we were just doing like data entry into their CMS
Yeah.
or CRM, whatever. Um, and then I went there and I was making the most money that I had in all my
Sure,
life at
sure.
that point, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's quite the transition. What was what was it like as far as the transition? I mean, you're going from something that you really, really loved, but and I can sort of mirror this sentiment where even if you love something, it certainly can burn you out and you get sick of it. Um,
Hmm.
what was that adjustment like for you?
Dude, I didn't know what to expect. At the time, it was more like, okay, like this is just part of my life that I'm, moving out from.
Mhm.
But like Wally mentioned, like playing was cathartic to the point where I think 2 years later, when I hadn't picked up my instrument, I played for the first time and I cried, not knowing, like I didn't control it. Like all of a sudden, I just started
Yeah,
tearing up when I was playing,
yeah,
and I was like, "What the hell's happening?" You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I mentioned before, also like we don't know how to process emotions, right? So
sure.
my body was especially confused. Um, but I don't think I realized what I was giving up in that frame, in that
Sure.
mindset. Giving up the emotional outlet, giving up on something that I loved and I worked hard at for most of my life. I
Mhm.
mean, like I started playing when I was in fourth grade, going into fourth grade, so I was like 9, I think, and played for 20 some odd years, maybe. I mean, I started playing professionally when I was 15, so yeah, it was a lot. It was a
Wow.
lot that I was not prepared for.
Yeah, or that's a very big change. I mean, especially to just
Hmm.
have that switch, and obviously it didn't happen without you making the choice to do it. Um, how did you adjust? Like, how did you kind of supplement or offset that, or did you just like go all in, kind of cut it out, and just sort of repress all of the feelings?
Yeah, definitely the latter. Definitely the latter, dude.
Mm,
Like like I said, I didn't think it would be an issue, and most of the gigs as well were drying up at the same time because who was moving
mm,
away or who was moving on to bigger and better things. So the local playing I was doing was not coming around as much. So I just kind of like stopped. I mean, like when I started the job at Orderies, that also led into my most serious phase of playing World of Warcraft with
okay.
Wally, and like maybe I filled up my time with that. I don't know, but it was also kind of refreshing just working a job 9 to 5 or whatever,
Yeah,
and going home and doing your thing. So
these are serious phases of wow. Yeah, there are. There are
you
very
can go
serious
very
phases.
hard, very deep. Wally and I were raid leading and doing the hardest content in the game and managing, like, when you're in that small tight knit of a thing, you're like HR, you're managing different personalities,
Mhm.
you're on a 22-person team that you're trying to achieve the same thing. Yeah, we were far from the worst offenders. So um
That's
but it was
crazy.
a fun time in life, and it came to an end eventually. I got into a relationship with someone and I stopped playing as seriously, and um yeah.
So what was the shift there then? So you mentioned that you got into a relationship. Um, you then started to kind of wean off of the wow, but that was filling a void for you. So then what was the next step for you as far as like sort of having something to like be passionate about or enjoy like that?
Yeah, dude, there really wasn't. I mean, honestly, like I definitely went into the relationship headstrong,
Mm,
and as did she at the time,
mm,
and um, I didn't, and like I kind of was just working at this orderly's place,
yeah,
and just getting by, and again, I was making the most money that I had, but it still wasn't
sure.
enough, right?
Yeah.
And so that's when like the thought of like, well, maybe I can give like IT or coding a shot.
Okay.
Um, and that's how I sort of got into it. So thankfully, when I was at Orderies, I did start doing some HTML and CSS
Oh,
again, just
nice,
getting my
nice.
dabbling my feet because it was some work that they did, and I was like, oh, maybe like they'll like teach me. And of course, it never happened there,
Of
but I
course
was
not.
still doing
It
some of the stuff,
was a good
you
thought,
know.
though. It was a good thought.
Yeah, I mean, please, it would have been great. Um, and then that was, I think, like I said, late 2018, twenty
Mhm.
nineteen, when I finally said, or whatever year it was, that I finally decided to start coding. Yeah.
Nice. And how did
From
you go
then,
about doing that?
dude, I tried so many different things. Tried so many different things. I wish, dude, I tried Udemy
Mm,
courses. I tried YouTube courses. I tried Code Academy. I tried Treehouse, which I think was pretty popular at the time.
okay.
Um, and nothing, I never completed one thing.
Hmm.
And maybe that was another side of like, I don't know. I mean, there's tutorial hell, and that's another thing that I fell into. But I just started like learning and doing by myself. I mean, like I remember eventually moving on to a different job, and when work was slow, I would, um, like just to learn Flexbox, I would build nav bars in
Nice.
CodePen and just like get that practice in because I needed to get familiar with the syntax or whatever. So like um it was kind of that, and I said I kind of like this, but as mentioned before, I've kind of circled this whole sort of I started with front end engineering, and then I leaned toward like AWS cloud architecture, and then I wanted to
Mhm.
try IT networking, and I said that's too long of a path, so let me try. And eventually, I settled back on front end engineering.
Yeah. Well, how did you decide to do that though? After like tasting all the samples, how did you
Hmm.
decide what to buy into? And then how did you're working full time and you're trying to learn and you're also in this relationship that's going pretty seriously at this point.
Hmm.
Where are you time boxing these things? Like how did this all work?
So I first of all, I want to say that I was very on and off with it
Mhm.
through the years until 2024. I will say that I was very much on and off with things. Um, but what was the first part of your question? How
I
did I
don't
time
even remember.
box it?
Yeah, how did you just manage all of this?
So thankfully, my girlfriend at the time was like very supportive of this. She
That's
actually, I
good.
think, paid for my first year of Treehouse because she was making more money than me, and or Code Academy, whatever
Mhm.
platform it was. But I just started like working after work, right? And it was something that I had to get used to again. It
Yeah.
was something that I had to work hard at, and I hadn't worked hard at much for a long time. And like even music, as much as I did work at it, I don't think I really worked as hard at music as I did getting this first job in software engineering. So yeah, like Roxy said, working before work, working
Yeah.
after work. I mean, like it was a lot to say the least.
Sure.
Um, and I settled on front end development. Oh, that was the part of your question.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how did you settle on that? Um, I started with it and I ended on or settled on it. I don't want to say settled. I chose it because even if I wasn't doing music, the creative side of me could still flex those muscles in
Mm,
the design nature of it. So from the get go, I was like, I want to be a design oriented engineer, but I still want to do the engineering part.
I like that.
I even like wrote a blog about like working after work, and it's like you just have to do it,
Yep.
and it's not easy, right? So,
No, definitely not. How did you pace yourself doing that? Like there
oh,
obviously
I didn't.
were ebbs and flows. Yeah.
Yeah, the ebbs and flows were like when I got burnt out, and that's when I
Mhm.
eventually learned what burnout was. Right, you'd go super hard and you'd get stuff done, and then I would take months off at a time, and not knowing why, and so. And burnout still happens. I mean, it happened last
Yeah.
year. It probably happened a little bit this year, but I, pushed through for the most part and had a nice break as well. So, well, we'll get to that, but yeah, I didn't. I just learned through trials and tribulation,
Yeah. Um
unfortunately.
what are some obviously burnout is a pretty popular topic in any industry, but a lot in tech. Um What are some of the signs that you see in yourself at this point? Is maybe you're a little bit more aware of when you're starting to get to that point.
Yeah, I like to think I am. I think I've learned along the way a little bit. So
Mhm.
for me, it's the I don't want to do this, right?
Mm,
It's and you could also say like, oh well, Ryan, you were on antidepressants, and depression plays into the role of maybe not having interest in the things that you were previously interested in.
sure.
But the number one thing for me is like I wake up and I don't want to do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to happen, I think, overall. But other ways for me are signs like I'm getting irritable towards people, that kind of thing. How I react towards others, I mean, um, and I start doing more self detrimental things.
Hmm.
Whether that's staying up late or procrastinating or
Oh, sure.
eating shittier foods.
Yeah. I think it's important, especially once you've experienced it a couple times, is to sort of become aware of what some of these like signals are that you're getting there. Right. Like what is sleep? What is sleep? Like we make that joke, but again, sleep deprivation it's called deprivation for a reason. It's not a good
Yep.
thing.
Dude, if anything I've done good for my body in the last year, it's been like prioritizing sleep. Um, like my body's definitely a shit show, but at least I got that going for me.
Yeah, Red Bull is
Yeah.
greater than sleep. Sleep isn't a good thing. Fair. Yeah, see. And again, like obviously this is all said in jest, but I think
Well, it is and isn't, right? Like we went, the years that we saw this grind mentality, this
Yep.
mindset, and some people are still doing it. And I mean, someone even said in chat about grinding when you don't have time or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I disagree, because that's how you burn out.
Hmm.
I think everyone will have seasons in their life where maybe they need to do that. I choose not to
Sure.
anymore. I can't do that, because I just know it leads to me not being in a good place
Yeah.
personally.
No, and again, I think it's signs. Like everybody's burnout comes differently. I could be sleeping a ton and still have stresses at work that trigger burnout for me. So
Hmm.
I think it's important to understand like it's many different things that can get you there. Um, so what were you doing to learn? Like we talked to you, you made the commitment to front
Hmm.
end. Like what was that process like? What did you finally land on that really you started to get traction with and maybe kind of stuck with? Or maybe you didn't stick with it. You just were bouncing around, but you were, retaining some of the information.
Yeah. For me, it was building things.
Mm,
And I will say that like my way was definitely not optimal in that. So I don't want people thinking like, oh, this is what I should do, especially in today's world. Um, yeah, balance is the new grind game. I
I
like
like
that.
that too.
Yeah, that's a good one. But what I did was latched onto something that I enjoyed, right? I was like, okay, if I'm making myself do this in the morning and or night before I have to work, like I need to do something I enjoy. So, dude, I started building websites. Like I
Yeah,
just took HTML and CSS, and maybe then eventually added some vanilla JavaScript and built stupid websites. I mean, like I have most of my previous portfolio sites still available to see, and so I could see like my progression
that's
in
cool.
time in skills, like both in design and code quality. So that was one thing. Writing was another for sure. That was just a good way. One of my friends who is an AWS cloud architect, which is why I started thinking about that, was like, just start writing. And so that's what I
Mm.
did. I started writing on dev.to. I know Nikki T was just in here, and so he's a big writer on
Oh
there.
yeah.
Yeah. It's a great platform. It's a great place to get started, and I do believe in owning what you write as well. So like having it on your own website. But if you don't have that set up, you could at least start on dev.to. But the other big thing that helped me, honestly, was reading, like reading and watching. I think I was able to talk to things maybe that I didn't have experience programming with
Mm.
because I exposed myself to more advanced technical blogs, or videos. Um, Again, is it the right way? I think everyone's got their own right way. There's certainly ways that we could point at things and say, oh, maybe that's not so good. But for me, at least if I wasn't actively coding, like if I was, I remember there was times where I was not working on things, but
Hmm.
I was not writing code, but I was reading, and it helped a lot.
Yeah, I think everybody also learns differently too. How did you sort of figure out what was really working for you?
I think it came, the time where you try the fifth different platform or the 14th different tutorial
Hmm.
video, and it's just not sticking for you, right? And I mean, obviously, at some point, I learned the term tutorial hell, which is when you just keep
Yeah.
taking tutorials, but you can't build anything for yourself, kind
Yep.
of thing. And so I just said, I have to just learn by building. I have to learn by doing myself. You can look at my portfolio and say, like, I know I feel to my heart that I don't have anything that's really like blows your mind away, right? There's nothing that's like deeply technical or anything. But I sort of focused in on one niche area that I said, I want to do this. Um, Whatever you want to call it, UI, UX engineer, design engineer, front end engineer, whatever it is, like I know that I can do certain things really well. And I know I can do things better than other people. And so that's the side of things that I targeted. And that's what my now employer saw in me. So that was pretty great.
Yeah, you certainly do a whole hell of a lot of shit better than I do. Literally,
And vice versa, dude.
Mom's Meatloaf, our Discord chat with you and myself and Chris. You two are always the people I bother when I have questions about anything. So it's good to have. Um, okay,
Exactly.
do you think for you it would have been? Trying to think of how to word this. Obviously, we see there's tons of different ways you can go in tech. So somebody right now maybe learning or trying to figure out where they want to land.
Mm.
Do you think it makes more sense to get more foundational experience, like the fundamentals, and really get a grasp on like the that, or should they look at like what's hot?
Hmm, dude. Okay, so there's going to be two answers to this, or three, I guess. Technically, the number one will be it depends, right?
Yeah,
And that forks into the other ones.
sure.
Um, do you want a job quickly? If the
Hmm.
answer is yes, and you don't care what you're building with or doing, then go and look at what's hot. And I don't mean what new framework just dropped on Twitter, but
Okay.
like what is in demand for jobs in your area. Don't focus on remote only. Look at it in your area and find out how you can get a job because
Yeah.
you can always pivot from there. That's, I mean, say what you want, but like React was the biggest thing in New York for front end, right?
Yeah.
Or just front end associated. So that's why I chose to stick with that. Um, Danny Thompson will say, if there's C++ jobs and it gets you a job in the field, go learn that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a C++ dev, so I said I will not do that. That's up to you. I
Hmm.
mean, listen, people are different boats and everything like that. If you need a job, like thankfully, I had different people I could sort of lean back on when I maybe was learning or at lower income jobs.
Yeah.
Um, but that's up to you. The other side of it is if get that base foundational knowledge and then go from there. If you have more time, if you're kind of like happy with where you're at, but you're like I kind of want to leave, if you have the time, I think getting that foundational knowledge will just aid you overall in the long run.
Tehran's got a great question here. Can you speak to the empty editor syndrome? Some early devs doubt themselves if they can't recall every syntax.
Yeah, dude, look at the docs. MDN, a Mozilla Developer Network, was my best friend learning. We have AI that can help us do things, and I use it every day at work. Um, but when you're learning something new, relying on AI will not do anything for you because it's basically the same thing as tutorial hell, right? Like you're watching someone
Yeah.
build out the code for you, and you're copying it. Um, so, in my opinion, look the things up, and you're gonna have to take especially now with AI being as good
Yeah.
as it is. You have to choose to take the hard path to learn those things, and also at the end of the day, memorizing syntax is important, but it's not make or break in a lot of ways because you can just refresh yourself on things as you get more competent.
Yeah. Do you think it would be more important to memorize syntax or to be able to articulate that you can figure out a problem?
Learning to speak and articulate those things, I think, is more important. That being said, you will likely not pass. I don't want to do definites.
Yeah.
Yeah, syntax. Yeah,
Yep.
like you might not pass if you can't use it. Like, what am I trying to get at? Technical parts of your coding interviews may not let you use your IDE and the tools you're normally using. I had one and it went terribly because I wasn't able to use the things I'm used to and I didn't know the syntax for things. So like you have to be competent in that way. But yeah, I think Razor said it properly. Concepts over syntax for
Yeah.
sure.
I agree with that as well. Good question, by the way, Ron. So we're at this job with Walter or Wally, whatever he wants to be referred to as right now, the brother formerly known as Walter. Um, you're learning. What was the next step there? What's the next chapter from this role?
So honestly, from the role I was with at Wally, I left and where did I end up? I think that's when I got this job at my now previous job at a
Hmm.
company called Telephonics, where I was a buyer
Okay.
for government subcontractor. And so that was still a placeholder. It was a stepping stone, but I was making a hell of a lot more money than I was making. I mean, we're talking a 1.5 times increase. So that was pretty
Wow.
sizable.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah.
How did that help you as far as like, life wise? Like what sort of a
Oh,
change was that for you?
you could think about doing things with your life. I
Yeah.
mean, like, I'll be transparent. Like, I was making 17 an hour, so 34K a year at Orderies, and then I was making 51 at Telephonics.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
I mean that's huge.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
pretty big jump for me. And so each place I went, like, I was making the most I've ever been, which was great, right?
Yeah.
Um, And God, that job was crazy because I started 2020. March 16th, 2020 was my
Mhm.
first day at that job. And that was the day they also said, okay, everyone's got to go work from home.
Oh
Like there's a
wow.
pandemic coming
Yeah.
or occurring. I thought I was going to lose my job, but thankfully I didn't. and I was in that field for 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
was
and
the
then had the ups
what
and
was the
downs of
commute
learning to
for
code.
you to a place like that? Like, was actually, I mean, once you got over the fact that you thought you were going to lose the job and you still had it, you're working from home, like that was probably convenient for you.
Oh god, yeah. The
Yeah.
My location at the time was 45 minutes away,
Oh wow.
give or take. On the way home was probably closer to 60 minutes because of traffic.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great because then you're coming home, you're eating dinner, and then it's like, okay, do I spend time with um my girlfriend? Do I spend time playing video games? Do I spend time coding? Do I, whatever, or whatever other things have to happen?
Sure. Yeah, I mean that commute in itself is a day. By the end of the week, you've spent almost a full day of just being in the car. It's hard to get that time back. Um,
Dude, the only benefit of being up there was that there was a meetup that occurred once a month,
oh,
about 10
nice.
minutes from the job. So,
Nice.
if all anything else, it allowed me to get up there because I would never go up to that little village if I didn't have a good reason
Sure.
to go up there.
So,
It's just tough to get to.
talk to me about that meetup. So what was going on? You started this new role, you're commuting, but you're still attending meetups with you hadn't settled on this being your place that you were going to be forever.
I knew within 6 months of being at this new job that it was not my long
Okay.
term thing. It was just too much of the same thing every day.
Mm,
That kind of work, that monotonous work that some people can do, which is I think awesome because I'm jealous that I just can't. Right, like I can't go in and do that.
yeah.
Um, and so I looked up, I think it was probably Danny Thompson who I was looking, reading or watching stuff, and it was like, hey, go find meetups.
Mm,
um, and so there was one on Long Island, as populous as it is here. I think we're so close to the city that it kind of detracts.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
so close to New York
Yeah.
City that it kind of detracts from local stuff.
Mhm.
Um, but it was called Long Island JavaScript,
Okay.
and it was not just JavaScript; it was just like whoever,
Sure.
and it was just a community. At least, like I felt super intimidated because not because of anyone there, but because I had that imposter syndrome for sure. I was like, I don't
Sure.
know what the hell I'm
You
doing.
weren't there yet.
Um,
You weren't there
yeah,
yet.
exactly.
Yeah.
But they were supportive and nice, um, and so I would continue to go there. Maybe not every single month, but I would go there through this. The group just shut down, actually,
Oh, wow.
unfortunately. But yeah, so it was a good way to have people that were maybe couldn't do much for me, but like I had at least a community nearby.
That's good. I mean, obviously that's super helpful, and especially like coming up, like you hadn't even
Hmm.
established yourself in tech yet, but you're already sort of building these um, connections, networking
Yeah,
connections, and stuff. So, so what was the next steps there? So we've got this community that you're involved in. You're currently working. Where did everything start to sort of fall into place that now I'm a developer now? Like, when did you finally say that that is what you are?
I did not say that. I think until sometime in 2024.
Okay.
That was post attending that conference. That was post um, doing an apprenticeship. What the hell is it called? The thing Danny runs, the coding cohort.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was post working on deals for devs with James Quick. Like,
Mhm.
and I still don't think I would have called myself one for a long time. So
Yeah, that's hard. When did you start really looking for the tech job? And like
I started
how
looking
did you
after
do
that
that?
conference.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it was
So
after that.
actually, I gotta give you a little preamble before I get to that
Yeah,
conference.
yeah.
Was my At the time, my wife's friend is a developer, and
Mhm.
she said, "Hey, I am in this like super small Discord of other developers with the cool people. Let me see if I can get you in." And she did, and that is how met Brian Morrison. A few of you will know
Cool,
him.
cool, yeah.
He's not currently a clerk,
Mhm.
um, and so from there, I won a ticket to that conference in Austin, Texas, 2024, because I think it was I want to say it was him and Taylor on a podcast or whatever,
Okay.
and I was able to win a ticket that they gave away. So because of that one person that I was invited to this Discord from, I met Brian, and then he was like, "Hey, here's an opportunity to win a ticket." I luckily won, and uh, once I went to that conference, my world was opened up. I like had finally had a community. I found a place that I actually felt like I belonged. I distinctly remember feeling like, "Oh, these are my people," kind of thing. And that's when I became a lot more active on Twitter and LinkedIn. Twitter, I was kind of just a lurker before that, and then met a bunch of cool people.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like again that seems to be a very similar trajectory as a lot of people, especially around us, like in our circles.
Yeah,
If you now reflecting on when you started to when you got the role that you're in now, because this is we would say officially, well, you were doing some kind of contract work prior to this role, correct?
I was doing some contracting work prior to this role, but I would still consider like this is my first full time role,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
So yeah,
Would you have kind of reworked your path? What would you have focused on? Maybe what would you have not done? Obviously, you can't change anything, but if we're sort of giving actionable feedback to people that are also listening, what are some things
yeah.
that you would have done to maybe iterate on the process?
Actually, Taryn said it right there. Twitter is the underrated for the is underrated for the
So
tech community.
absolutely,
I think
thousand percent.
being active, right? Like, and it's funny because at the start of this we said how nice it is to get like a break or a respite from
Yeah,
posting on socials and stuff, but it really can make a big difference in who you know, who knows you is very important, and your career, and it's part of a game too, right? Like sadly we have to play this game. We have to play
yeah,
the LinkedIn game, especially the Twitter game. While optional, I think most people will say more good comes for them than bad.
yeah,
Obviously there are bad sides of everything, so don't think I'm chalking it up to everything. Yeah, I've heard it's not what it was, but guess what? That's what people have now.
yeah.
So like if you're a newcomer coming into this, you won't know how good things
Right.
were or different,
It's
right?
not what it was to everybody. So we're all still there. It's still the same people. Um,
Hmm.
and I think that's important to remember is like you get out of it what you put into it. Like I
Oh
don't
yeah.
see all the political shit. I don't look at all that crap. Like it's same to me. I still follow the exact same people, talk to the exact same people. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Curate your feed.
It's so important. It
Yeah.
will make your experience on whatever platform you're on better. It will take a little bit of time, but you can do it, and it makes it to the
Yeah.
point where maybe you're finding useful things on those sites.
Hmm.
Again, like, is it as populous as it once was? I guess not. I didn't know it back then, to
Yeah.
be completely
Yeah.
honest.
No, totally.
Um, yeah, so I would say like just be involved more. I mean, I think like what you're doing for the Torque community and giving people a place to sort of be is great. It's a great start. It's a uh, big community, which is nice as well and worldwide. And but don't be afraid to find more niche ones too. If you're into,
Yeah.
dude, like I'm in the Astro um Discord. I really like Astro, so I jumped in there. And am I active in there now? No, but like that's part of why I got my job, because people at Astro knew me, which is kind of crazy. And
Yeah.
because of Twitter, like
Yeah.
that's another big reason why I got my job, was because of a post I made on Twitter. So don't sleep on it.
Yeah. Be known for something. I feel like you definitely established yourself as the Astro guy. And it
Yeah,
worked.
yeah, it did work. I mean,
Yeah.
like, which is crazy to think. I think um Roxy and I have talked before, and I before I got this job, I was like, hire me as the personality hire. Like I can talk, people seem to like me. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
um,
for sure.
but it sort of goes back into what I mentioned about like I wanted to go down this path into this very front end
Hmm.
engineering, and so I focused in on that. And so it's the same thing as like you said, like be known for a good thing,
Yeah.
right? That's the other important part of
Oh
the thing.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Be known for a
uh,
good thing. Don't be just known for a thing.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, your brother chimed in. You haven't even mentioned Gridiron Survivor yet. Um,
Yeah.
how did that help as far as like exposure and everything? And again, I think it just kind of plays into that overarching theme, like put yourself out there.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, again, I was very fortunate because I firmly believe none of this would have happened if I did not attend a conference. And
Mm,
that is not something for that everyone can do. But thankfully, there are a lot of ways for people to get free or vastly discounted tickets
yeah,
because they are expensive. I know for a fact Render ATL does. Um, I'm pretty sure. Oh, why am I blanking on the one that you went to in Alabama? Mongolia.
Alabama. Oh my, Mississippi.
Mississippi, yeah.
Same difference.
Um, same difference. It's all down there. But I think they had, they were sort of helping people out as well, I think. So it's, yeah, they are crazy expensive, but if you have a community, like, dude, I knew Chris Novicki
Hmm.
and we roomed together. Like we had met in person once before that.
Hmm.
If you facilitate these relationships with people and you feel comfortable, as obviously they, like, you can help make things easier. Um, Alex from Gridiron Survivor or LGT, like he and I roomed together at CYC the first year that it
Oh,
happened.
cool.
I didn't know Alex. Like he was relatively new to the team. I didn't really know him, but like we knew each other. Like, so you can sort of make things happen. They are expensive.
Yeah.
Maybe look for local things, but all this to say, the my time at and the people I met at that conference opened me up to, like I said, working with James Q Quick on the Deals for Devs thing,
Hmm.
and that was a small team as well. There was a few people on that. Gridiron Survivor with Shashi, which was and still happening, as an apprenticeship of a team of junior developers, which is where I actually met Jason. I knew of
Yeah.
him and was intimidated by him, and then I know he's a little sap now.
Jeez.
um, it got me the opportunity to do the Dallas Software Developers, or now it's Commit Your Code, coding cohort. And ask me why I got into that, because I didn't know it was for people that were not in Dallas. And I reached out to Danny, and because I met him, he stuck me in somehow. Very, very grateful for that. Because I met all these people, I was then able to give a talk for this dot labs earlier this year. I was able to go give a talk at Vercel meetup in New York City.
Yeah, your talk
So,
was
like,
excellent. I was physically
thank you
there
very
for
much.
that,
You were
so
there, yeah. And I'm not saying these things to be like, oh, look what Ryan did, but like that was one catalyst that just set things off for me.
yeah. I love that. I've loved watching your trajectory over the last year. I remember when we got to share the beer where I was on my way to the Bills game when you had
That's
told us
right.
about
Yeah,
it.
with Wally.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
That's great.
such a cool thing. How would you I mean, I think we talked about it at the beginning of the stream. I think we've got like 9 days left in the year. Obviously, we probably a lot of people are in that reflection phase and everything, but I want to think ahead as opposed to thinking in the past. So you've got less than 2 weeks left of 2025. What is
Mm.
Ryan going to do to put himself into the best position for 2026?
Yeah. So for me, that's sort of I think a three-part answer.
Okay.
Number one is, or maybe more than that, but number one
An
is
11 part answer. Just come
yeah,
up with a very
exactly. It's just gonna be multiple
non-specific
movements. It's
number.
fine. No, excuse me. Um, so number one is do a annual reflection. This is something actually Nikki
Mhm.
T mentioned it in the LGT Discord. I did the one last year for the first time, and I thought it was awesome. Because so many times, we'd go through the year and we think, oh, not much happened, whatever. But if you actually go by it month by month, like
Yeah.
you can see a lot of cool things maybe that happen. Maybe some not so cool things, right? Like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we just had a death in the family. That's not so
Yeah.
cool, but
Sorry for your
it's part of
loss,
the
man.
daily life. Thank
It's
you.
tough.
Yeah, like Roxy said, that's why I take 5 million photos.
Yeah.
So I called it retrospective.
Hmm.
That's a thing we also do on tech teams, right?
Yeah.
So that's part one. Write it down. You don't have to share it, uh, but if you do share it with the world, like, cool, because it inspires other people.
Mhm.
I think that's really important. And you don't have to be as vulnerable as I am. Like, I'm very transparent and
Yeah.
open, and I choose to be because I want that authenticity to come out, right? Thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. The other part of it for me is like starting what you want to do next year now. Like, I don't love resolutions because I've always failed them. So I just said I'm going to
Hmm.
stop making resolutions.
Sure.
Don't wait until January 1st. Just start it now. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. You're going to get it 2 weeks ahead of time. Like, that's 2 extra weeks, right? That's 14 extra days. That's pretty sweet. Um, what did I do? I like bought more protein powder in a shaker bottle, and so I could start upping my game. And I'm gonna be going to the gym tomorrow. Like, it's cool, it's great, um, because I desperately need to. Resolutions do suck. Well, 1440p is a pretty good one, but um, what else was I gonna say? I think making, if you have time available to yourself, putting systems in place that will help you next year. So, for example, like I joke about it on Twitter that I'm doing another portfolio redesign, but I am. And part of that is also putting a system in place with the CMS that I have an easier time writing blogs and stuff. Like,
Mm.
I miss writing. I want to do more of it. Um,
Nice.
version what are we on? Version 5 had a CMS. Version 6 did not because I said I'm just going to do markdown files. And then that didn't work out. So with this redesign and technical overhaul, it's a brand new site. I am going back to adding a CMS, just because that's having that system in place will make it easier for me to write. He is not in the room next to me because technically there's like a 10-foot distance between us. But yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah.
Um,
So yeah, those are my
yeah,
thoughts. I mean, like work on if put systems in place, and if you don't have them already mapped out, map them out. Whatever resolutions you're making for January 1st, just start them today. Start them tomorrow.
yeah.
Um, and yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just looking forward to having a really good year.
Hell yeah. 2026 is going to be, I mean, 2025 was already your year. I see onward and upward for you. Um, obviously
Thanks,
we're
man.
almost at time here. I'm super proud of you.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate
You're
that.
crushing it. You're
As are you,
one
my
of my
friend.
very close friends. Always love talking to you and seeing you. Do you have any musical instruments right there you want to play us out with? I'm not going to
I
try a
don't.
nice track.
They're upstairs, packed
What
away.
a
Unfortunately,
bitch move, Ryan. Come on.
no one told me ahead of time.
Ugh, I know. Damn it.
Yeah.
Um, that sucks. All right. Well, I guess we'll just go with the last question then. What does success look like to you, Ryan?
For me
Yeah,
personally,
Walter, go get him an instrument while he's talking quickly.
yeah, he's got a trumpet in his room. I could play a scale. uh, Success is different to every person, right? Is it
Sure.
having a healthy family and friends? Is it having a shit ton of money in your bank account? Is it getting your job? I got the job, and I got an amazing job for me. Like, and this is not me bragging. This is me just like it's an amazing field, or subfield, right? Like, I love gaming. We use Astro,
Hmm.
amazing, and Solid
Yeah.
JS, which is new to me, but still, good framework. So like I did the thing. I did the thing. So for me, it's like, how can I improve for next year?
Yeah.
I'm looking to move out. I'm currently residing in my parents' house, which is probably, most of you probably know this by now. Post divorce, moved back into my family's
Hmm.
house. Thankfully, we have a room here for me.
Yeah.
But getting this job allowed me to think about the future and in a way that I haven't been able to. We talked about my getting the job at Telephonics being like a 1.5 times bump in salary. Well, by the time I left there earlier this year into what I'm making now, it's like almost 2x.
Wow.
Um, yeah, I'm very, very fortunate. I'm
Yeah.
very happy. And this now lets me like think about living a life, that I didn't have previously. So success for me this time next year, having this includes having a shit ton of money in the bank account because I'm needed to move out,
Hell
right?
yeah. Hell
Um,
yeah.
and succeeding at my job, and that's really it for me. Maintaining my friendships and continuing to do a good job at work. That's all I need.
Friendship.
Yeah, boy.
Hell yeah, man. Well, crap, dude. This was a long time coming, by the way. It's like
Literally, I think we booked this in
over
August.
the summer. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
But we made it. It's the end of the year. We're almost at 2026. This is the last tech commute for 2025, and I'm honored that I get to spend it with you, my
crazy.
friend. We will
So glad we got to
not
do
be
this.
going 2 more hours. Yeah, where's your brother? Tell him to get his flugelhorn. Yeah, he's stalling. Oh, that was actually pretty good. That was pretty
It
good.
exists.
It
He
does.
exists.
I don't
There's
know.
no room in room right now.
That
You
could have
guys
been
see
your
this on
mom.
camera. My room is a disaster. There's no
Yeah,
room for him in here right now.
that's hilarious. Give us some closing thoughts and then play us out with a closing thought.
Yeah, my closing thoughts are like, thank you. Well, first of all, thanks Jason for having me. Thank you everyone for hanging out. I think it's great. It's always fun. I'm not as active in Torque as I maybe want to be all the time, but yeah, if you heard that, that was Wally, so he exists.
That still
uh,
doesn't mean anything, but
it doesn't mean anything. um, but yeah, my biggest closing thoughts are like, if do what you need. If you need time off because you are
mm,
feeling burnt out, take that time. You know, we have more time than we think we do, and even if it feels like the world is crumbling and ending, you'll get there. So, Yeah. Do the
That's it.
things you need.
Do the things you need to do. I love it. All right, man. Well, hang out backstage for a sec. We're out of here. Have a great
Totally.
holiday to everybody. We wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and
Yes.
everything in between. You know what? It's happening. Say goodbye to everybody. I'm gonna play them out with Pee Wee's intro again.
Hell yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for hanging. Alana, you have no reason not to believe me because you've seen us both at the same time. So is
That's
Richard.
true.
Yeah.
All
So
those
long,
people are
everyone.
just full of shit. All right, bye
Oh,
everybody.
yeah. Yeah.